All in all, a really nice weather day. Clouds, though, starting to overspread the area as an upper level low begins to approach. That'll be moving over top of us overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. 59 degrees right now at Baton Rouge Metro Airport. Big story, at least this evening, is going to be how dry the air is still at the surface layer of the atmosphere, where the dew point is showing 26 degrees. So rain that falls from this disturbance this evening is probably going to evaporate mostly before reaching the ground, just because of how dry the air is here at the surface. We call that virga. And so when you see some of these radar returns here on Futurecast, keep in mind that a lot of that is not going to be reaching the ground here. So as we look towards 11:30 and beyond, still some of this rain unlikely to reach the ground. So we're really talking about spotty to isolated sprinkles during the evening. Now, once we get into the morning start tomorrow, most of this should actually start to reach the ground, because we'll start to moisten up all layers of the atmosphere by this point. But we're still talking about isolated coverage for showers as we get into the morning drive tomorrow. So if you have that morning commute, you may run into a few sprinkles, but unlikely we're going to have enough rain or as widespread of rain to really cause any major issues on our roadways. Unlikely we're even going to see wet, slick streets out there. So for Wednesday lunchtime, we're actually dry, and we're going to stay with the cloud cover over top of us. We'll stay dry through the afternoon. It's not until the front approaches, and that's going to be Wednesday evening, we may squeeze out a few additional showers, but these are going to be spotty to isolated once again at best. So bottom line is most of us are expected to remain dry with this next frontal passage on Wednesday, with about 20% of our viewing area receiving measurable rainfall. Once the front moves through, clear out all this mess, all the clouds get out of here, and we're going to see another significant cool down heading into your Thursday and beyond. So look at the estimated rainfall from the model that I just showed you. It's highlighting some decent amounts actually from the last model run. It was really just showing a couple hundredths of an inch of rainfall here and there, and that's kind of what I was anticipating and expecting. So it does look like it's trying to produce at least a little bit of some light to moderate rainfall at times across our area with its latest run. So for tomorrow, really going to be more of a story about wind, because the wind is going to be breezy out there. So hairspray could be in order, as well as the jacket. You'll notice for the morning bus stop, we're going to see temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. So not as cold as it has been the last few mornings, where we flirted with freezing temperatures here locally, and some spots receiving that. 20% chance for a few of those isolated showers tied to that upper level low during the morning. I think afternoon dismissal, we're going to get all that done before any rain starts to arrive tied to the front. But even then, again, just isolated spotty in terms of coverage. So there you see the wind starting to elevate itself as we get towards the afternoon. So by the time we get there, we're talking about wind speeds upwards of 15 miles per hour. That's sustained winds. So keep in mind, gusts will be even higher, 20, maybe even low 30 mile per hour range. I mentioned the cold air works in on the backside of the front. So let's give you a first alert to what we're going to be dealing with in terms of the potential for some freezing temperatures. We've got the morning low kind of down around freezing for Friday, and the potential will be there also for Sunday and Monday to also reach that below freezing temperature. People, pets, and plants, that's the priority we're going to be keeping track of with these light freezes tied to the front. Again, that first one kind of arriving Friday morning. Here's a look at the, will be arriving, Friday morning. Here's a look at the cold fronts that's going to be kind of pushing through and how it's going to correlate to daytime highs. So we get the first front in here tomorrow evening. We're going to have 60s still for daytime highs tomorrow, but we only get into the low 50s for Thursday before rebounding once again back towards the 60s by Friday. Once Friday into Saturday's front moves through, we get more of a couple of degrees cooler than normal trend. So upper 50s to low 60s as we end the week and head into the beginning of next week. So there you see that Friday early morning light freeze. Again, people, pets, and planes, it's all we're worried about. Then as we get towards the weekend, it's going to be cool, but still mainly dry, even with the second front kind of moving in Saturday, only looking at a 10% mention of rain. Looking pretty good for Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday. If you have the extended holiday, it looks like the weather should be good. If you're going to be planning one of those work projects for MLK Jr. Day on Monday, also the weather will cooperate.